So let's look at this example. So I have a small garden center propagates tulip bulbs. The gardener begins with 100 bulbs. Each bulb produces several new bulbs. 3 of these are kept for next round. Write an equation to represent the number of new bulbs. So what am I starting with? What's my initial number of bulbs? 100, right? So that's before any round. That's my initial. This is how much I have right now, right? So basically, the number of bulbs in round 0 is, yes? So in this case, I have an initial value other than 1. Now what's happening to the number of bulbs after each round? It's increasing, right? So each bulb is going to produce how many bulbs? 3. Each bulb is going to produce 3 new bulbs. So how many new bulbs do I have in the second round? In the first round, sorry. 100. How many? 100. But each one is producing 3 more. If I have 100 and each one is producing 3 more, how many would I have? 300. How? Because 1 is producing 3. 2, we have a total of 6. 3, we have a total of 9, right? So each one is producing 3. So 100 times 3 is 300. How about in round 2? 900, right? So it's the 100 times the 3, which I got in round 1, and multiply that by another 3, right? Which is 900. Round 4. 2,700. So again, 100 times the 3, which I got in the previous round, and then multiply that by another 3, which is 2,700. Okay? So what's happening is every time I'm multiplying by another 3. Yes? So if I want to write an equation for this, first of all, I'm going to start with the initial number of bulbs, which is 100. And then what am I multiplying by every single round? By 3. So my growth factor is 3. Yes? So if I look at this, this is 100 times 3 to the power of 1, yes? In the second round, it's 100 times 3 to the power of 2. In the third round, it's 100 times 3 to the power of 3. Now, can you tell me what do you think my nth round is going to be? How can I find my nth round? Let's say after 10 rounds or 20 rounds or 50 rounds. What would it be? So it's going to be 100 times 3 to the power of n, whatever n is, right? If n is 20 rounds, right? So 20 rounds from now, I'm going to be doing the same thing, okay? So that's going to be 100, and then the base is 3 to the power of n. Why is my base 3 in this case? Why is my base 3? It's the growth, it's the ratio, that's right. It's the growth factor. Yes? So my ratio is 3. If I take this number and divide it by, if I take, let's say, 300 and divide by 100, right, I'm going to get 3. If I take 900 and divide by 300, I'm going to get 3, right? it's my growth rate. So that's my base. That's why my base is 3. So remember that the generalization for the exponential growth and decay is equals. And I told you that we're going to introduce the a value with a base to the power of x. Right? And the a represents what? The a represents the initial value. So what you're starting with. And then you're going to multiply by the base. The base is the growth or decay factor. Okay? And then x is your exponent. So, if you guys are looking at the equation for this one, how would I write my equation? So I start with y equal to. What's my initial value? 100. What's my ratio? And then to the power of x or n or whatever letter you want to use. So this equation is easy if I know what my growth or decay factor is. Okay? But when I don't know what my growth and decay factor is and they give me a rate instead, I need to actually find that growth and decay factor. Okay? So I'm going to add 2 more formulas to our known y equals ab to the power of x. Okay? And the formula is the following. Or the formulas are the following. So if it's a growth, and then I'm given a rate. A rate means a percentage. Okay? Then the formula becomes the following. Y equals A, but instead of B, it's going to be 1 plus your rate to the power of x. Okay? So, again, initial, I'll write it down, yeah. This is your initial value plus, because it's a growth, and then I represents your rate, which is your percentage, but in decimal, and then x is your exponent. Okay? Now, if I have a decay, again, given a rate, then it becomes y equal a1 minus I to the power of x. Okay? So if I look at this question, suppose you have $500 in the account. And you deposit it into a savings account that pays 2% interest per year. Find the equation that models this exponential growth. Eyes on the board, please. Exponential growth. Here's how you're going to know that it's going to be an exponential function. Okay? Now, growth, and then what am I given here? What am I given here? A rate, which is percentage. Okay? So what formula do I use? The growth formula, which is y equals a 1 plus I to the power of x. Okay? A is what? Which is, what's my initial value? 500, right? Because you're depositing $500 in the bank. So that's your initial. And then, so my equation is y equals a 1 plus I to the power of x. My a is 500. And what's my I? 2%, but I have to write it in decimals. So what's 2% in decimal? 0.02. So to find this in decimal, I have to do 2 divided by 100, which is 0.02. So that's going to be 1 plus 0.02 to the power of x. Okay? So you see now, I can actually add these together, and then that becomes 500, 1.02 to the power of x. Okay? Now, does it look like y equals ab to the power of x now at the end? Yes. My a is 500. My b is 1.02. Right? So that does look like ab to the power of x, but I had to find b. It was not given to me. I had to find it using the 1 plus I. Are we okay with this? So the second part of the question is asking you to find the amount of money you will have after 3 years. That's right, because x represents the number of years, right? So this is how much money you have. This is the initial value. This is the rate, and then to the power of how many years, right? So x represents how many years. So all what I have to do is I have to enter 3 in for x. And BEDMAS says I have to do what first? The exponent first. So I have to do 1.02 to the power of 3 first. Yes, on the calculator. And then I have to multiply by 500. What do you get when you do that? And then multiply by 500? .60. Does it make sense that after 3 years you have $530? Yes, it does. Right? It's increasing. I know I'm getting money, I'm getting interest, right, on the $500. So therefore, there will be $530.60 in the account after 3 years.